Morning, folks. We'll start in about 1 minute. Looks like I've got 10:59, so we will start right at the top of the hour. All right, well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to getting started with Teams. Here's our agenda for today. We're going to talk a little bit about the compatibility with your devices. We're going to look at setting up your profile and notifications, using the chat and calling one-on-one and in group conversations. We're going to look at how to share and collaborate and schedule and conduct meetings. So I wanted to talk a little bit about compatibility. Where's my other slide? All right, that's okay. We'll just go ahead and go back. I can talk about it without that slide. I apologize for that. So when you're talking about compatibility, if you're looking for the Teams app or the Teams web software, it only comes with the Microsoft Office version, the business version. However, I'm going to show you how you can either use Teams via the web or how you can download the app for free. And that's compatible with a PC, with a Mac, with the iOS, and with Android. So when you're looking at everyday activities, there's several different options that we have out there to utilize. You have Google Hangouts, you have private messaging within any one of your software pack or your email packages that you use, Gmail, Outlook, and so on. We've got different options for attending meetings, whether it's Google Hangouts or it's an Adobe Room. There's just several different things going on, collaborating on projects. But again, we're in different applications. What you're trying to do, and you're trying to connect with different people and work on various projects. What Teams does is that it brings that all together. Oh, there's my compatibility. Okay, so I was just out of order. So anyway, it's a centralized workplace. You can manage your contacts, you can chat and call, you can host and attend meetings, you can share, store and share files, you can collaborate on documents. It's just a wonderful tool for us to utilize. I'm going to go ahead and switch over here. There we go. So looking at the website, this is the website. I'll go ahead and share this with everybody. I'll put that in the chat. So if you want to go ahead and just click on that for future reference. You can go to this website, or you can do a Google search and put in just Microsoft Teams. You can download the app. You can sign up for free. Like I said, you can use it either web-based or on an app. Now, when you're using it on a PC or on a Mac, it's going to look the same between the app and the web-based. For your iOS and your Android, it's a little bit different. But we're going to go over some of the features of that software this morning. So just looking at a quick tour of Teams. Over here in the upper right-hand corner, I have my profile, and we're going to come back to that here in just a little bit, and we're going to look at setting status messages and some of the settings within. You can see that you have the option to download the desktop app. I'll show you how to do that. You can also sign out from here. Then up at the top, you have your search bar. So if you're looking for a specific person or a specific team, you can search up here for that information. Then over here on the left-hand side, you have your left rail menu is what a lot of people call it. So you have your activity, which I have clicked on now. You have chat, teams, different assignments that you can upload. You have a calendar where you can keep track of all of the events of your day. You can schedule meetings. What's really nice about the meetings is some of the applications that we use today is you can't record them. Within Teams, you can record them. So if you have a team member or somebody that can't attend the meeting, you can send that recorded link to them. It will include any presentations that you have, any comments that were made, and that's very nice. You can make calls depending on your place of business. You will either be making the phone call over the internet, or if your place of employment has purchased that extra add-on through Teams, you can call anybody just like your regular landline phone, and then you can also store files in here. So coming down below, you've got different apps that are included in Teams. You also have the ability to download the app from here. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on this and show you what happens. So when I click on the Teams download, it's downloading the actual app to my PC as we speak. And once it is ready, I'll go ahead and click on it and bring that up. Give it a minute here to open. And once it opens, it's going to ask you to sign up for free to add some information to it. Go ahead and bring it over here. So you're going to enter your work, school, or Microsoft account. So you'll simply just put in your email address that you want to use. And click on sign in. Or if you don't have a Microsoft account, you can sign up for free. So it's just as simple as that to use the app as well. So going back up to the left rail menu, well, and then right in the middle, you have your staging center area. So everything that happens is going to be in this area where it says have private conversations here. Everything is going to be active in this area. So the activity feed is anything that you were mentioned in. So you could come up here and look, you know, every morning, however many times you want to a day, but anything that was specifically addressed to you, you'll be able to see it in this feed. Below that, you have something called a chat. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to initiate a chat. So I'll go ahead and click on the new chat, or Alt-N is the keyboard shortcut. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and it says, okay, go ahead and enter the name or the email of the person or group that you want to tag. So I'm going to do an individual person first, and then I'll go ahead and I will show you how to create a group. So it populates that, and you can see that this is pulling all of the people from Metropolitan Community College, which is the teams that I'm currently using. So MCC has two Patricia Smiths. One is an adjunct faculty for continuing ed, and one is an English instructor. The first one is the one that I want, so I'm just going to go ahead and click on her name. And then I have the ability to come down and type in the chat, maybe just say good morning. So I can go ahead and put that in there. Now she's not actually active right now, and I knew that when I selected her, but that's okay. So I went ahead and put that in. if I want to add another person to this group, so let's say that I want to create a group to chat with. So I'm going to go ahead and just come over here to the right-hand side, and I'm going to click on Add People. And it says, okay, who do you want to add? And I'm just going to go ahead and add another person. And note that when I did that, I was playing around with this earlier. Note that when I did that, that my good morning that was just to Patricia Smith is now no longer in the active staging area, because these are private conversations. So I had a private conversation with just Patricia Smith. When I add another person, that is not visible to the other person. So just go ahead and add her in again and type in another note. Okay, so now I have these two people, and if these are two people or three people or five people, whatever the case may be, that you frequently chat with, then you can just click on this pencil right here and you can rename that group. So I'm just going to call this my NCC group. And I'm going to go ahead and click on Save. And you'll note that up here at the top, it switched to MCC group, and it also switched over on the side. At any time that I want to, I can click on the plus sign. I can view the folks that are in this group. I can add additional people. I can delete somebody. If I leave this group, you're leaving it forever. So you want to be a little bit careful with that. One nice thing, let me go back down just to Patricia Smith. So I can either do a chat with an individual person or a group, or I can come up here and I can click on video call, and I can do a video call. Now, like I said, video isn't, yeah, okay, saying that my video isn't working because I'm using the camera.
Patricia is currently unavailable. Please leave a message after the tone. When you have finished, please hang up or press the pound key for more options.
So I just wanted to show you a few of the options once you're in the video chat. If you want to show the conversation, I can do that. If you want to show the participants, I can go ahead and click on that. Anytime you see these three dots, it means that there's more actions that you can look at. So if I click on more actions, you can see that I can start recording. So I can record this quote unquote meeting or this call that I just created. I could show a keypad if I need that. I can show device settings. So if I go ahead and click on that, it will allow me Oh, I think, Ruth, did I answer your question by going through? I apologize. I had this covered up and I didn't see that question. So in your device settings, right now, my default is to the speakers on my USB speaker and webcam, but I can go in and change that if I want to. No, I'm not going to, but if you have a couple of different options, sometimes if you have a headset that works a little bit better than the alternative, maybe the built-in webcam or the built-in audio. So you can go in and switch that from here if you need to. Go ahead and end this call so that you can get back. Okay. So the question is, I noticed that the icon for the group shows PP. What happens when to the icon when you add more people? So when I add more people, the reason that it says PP right here, if I go ahead and add another person, I'll go ahead and add another person in there. Just add Nathan in. Then it gives the first initial of the person that was added before that, and Nathan actually has a profile picture in there, so it has that in. I'll go ahead and add another person and just kind of show you what happens. Where's Patty? That's probably Patricia. Yep. Patricia Adams. Add. Okay, so yeah, and you can see that it's showing that these people are live. So if I were to send a message right now, Patricia Adams and Nathan would see that. I'm not going to, I don't want to bother them. But that is sending a group chat and an individual chat. Now, if you want to get a little bit fancier, come down here to type a new message. Note that you have some options below that. If I click on the uppercase A, it allows me, let's see. So if I want to, I can go ahead and highlight that. I can boldface it. I can italic it. You know, I can change the color of the font. I can make it, spruce it up a little bit. I can increase the font size. You've got the options of small, medium, and large. Highlight it first. There we go. And then if I want to, I'm going to come over to my three dots again, and I'm going to go ahead just to emphasize this a little bit, and I'm going to insert a horizontal rule, and then I'm going to say, what would you like for lunch? And if I want to emphasize this, I can go ahead and click on the quotes, and you can see that it just kind of puts it in a gray box. So then when I'm ready, I can either hit the enter or click on the little airplane down below, and I can post that. If you need to edit something, if you made a spelling error or you just want to add something to it, you could come up again to the three little dots, the more options, click on that and click on edit. And I can go ahead and say maybe pizza or tacos. And then just hit the enter key and it will update that. Click on the check mark, there we go. And it does say that it's been edited, but it doesn't tell the other people or the other person in the group what the edit was. Okay, so looking at the different options for chatting, that's just sprucing up a message a little bit. If something is really important, you have two options. You can put an exclamation point next to it. So I can go ahead and just click that this is very important. I need your orders by 11:30. Okay, so that's saying that it's important. If it's urgent, maybe we'll say the building is closing in 10 minutes. Now make sure if it's urgent, because what's going to happen is it's going to, like it says, notify the receipt of every 2 minutes for 20 minutes. So it's going to send that message again every 2 minutes. So we'll go ahead and just put this as important rather than urgent. And I'm going to hit the enter key and it will add that in. If I want to, I can send a file to everybody in the group. So I can click on the little paperclip, which you know is the signal for uploading or attaching a file. So I can either select from my OneDrive or I can upload from my computer file. I'll go ahead and go to my OneDrive, see what I've got in there. And I'll go ahead and just use this if statement. So we'll add this Excel file, and then I can share that with everybody. So it's pretty simple. Then of course you've got your emojis, you've got your GIFs, you've got your stickers. So if I go into my emojis, you can see that they're animated. So I can go ahead and click on that. If you put 3 of them out there, they're a little bit. Let's see, get something positive here. There we go. So I've got my 3 people. I'll go ahead and hit the enter key, and you can see that the animation continues to go on while you're looking at that. And then you've got your GIFs. Let's see, dancing bears. There we go. We've got some dancing bears in here that we can send. Some of this is kind of silly, but that's what makes it fun as well. Then you have your different stickers. So you can go through and look at your various stickers. When I first started using this, and I'm not sure why this makes a difference, so maybe one of you know, looking for something that has writing on it. I have seen different versions of Teams that will allow you to change the text on top of one. And of course, I can't find one with text on it just because I'm saying that. Okay, so maybe I put this, I just can't, but I have seen where various versions of this you can change this to I can or whatever you want to, but you can go in and change that. We'll go ahead and delete that because that's depressing and leave it at that. So again, you've got your GIFs, your stickers. You can also schedule a meeting from here. So if I click on schedule a meeting, it will open up my calendar, and I can go ahead and say, maybe we're going to do a lunch and learn at, what time is it, 11:22? Yeah, we can do it at 11:30. Again, you can repeat it if you want to. You can change the date very easily from here. You can change the time. You can say it defaults to 30-minute increments. If you want it to be longer than that, you can change it, and it calculates the time over here to the right. You can tell it that you want it to be an all-day event if you would like. If you want it to repeat, if this is something that you're going to do every week, every Friday, you can repeat that. These are very common calendar options. I'm going to add a channel. If you're meeting in a specific location, if it's not virtual, you can put that in here. You can put a meeting note. So maybe if you've got your agenda, you can put that in there. And when I click on send, it's going to let's see, did it go? Yep. So I just set that meeting invite. Let's make sure that it went. I think I must have something on the calendar at that time, and it's probably another lunch and learn. So let's just back this up a little bit. Let's say that we're going to meet at 2 o'clock. And go ahead and click on send. Okay, then if I go over to my calendar, if I click on my calendar, you can see that, yes, I did have a lunch and learn in there. So now I have that on my calendar. We'll come back to calendars here in just a little bit. I want to go back to chat and make sure that we get through all of this before we move on. So you've got different options down here underneath. Make sure that you take some time to look at those. They're fun, a way to spruce things up a little bit and share information with your team. Okay, so above, so far we've looked at just chat. You can also upload files to share with this particular person. So if you can see that I have that if statement up there. I can go ahead, I can click on share. Maybe I want to upload something from my computer. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, let's see, where do I want to go here? Go to my desktop. And maybe I just want to upload the Google Sites folder. Come here. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and upload all of these. This is also a great way to store stuff or to back things up. All of those should be uploading to these files. Let's see, why aren't they coming up? Oh, I guess I'm just not being patient enough. So we'll come back to that here in just a second. Make sure that all of those files exist for just the two of us to use. Now remember that I'm just sharing these with Patricia Smith and no one else. So no one can see our chat and no one can see oh, there they are. No one can see the files that we are utilizing. So if you click on organization, it should give you a little bit about that person if you want to know more about that person. If you click on activity, it would show you any activity that Patricia had. The other thing that's really cool is that you can add additional information. So if I click on this plus sign, you can add in any of these apps that you want to. And I'm just going to go ahead. There should be an app just for a website. So I'm going to click on website, and I'm just going to give this a name. Say MCC Instructor Portal. And then it wants me to paste the link here, and I have that in there. So I'll go ahead and click on save. And when I do so, it adds the MCC Instructor Portal to my tabs at the top. So now I've got chat, I have all my files, the organization, the activity, and the MCC Instructor Portal. I can go ahead, you can add as many of these as you want to, but that's a little bit about looking at the chats. I'm going to come over here because I want to show you a little bit about the profile and how to change that. So right now it says that I'm available. If you want to, if this is something that you use frequently and you're in a meeting for an hour, or you're working on a project and you don't want to be disturbed, maybe somebody's trying to IM you if you're taking a 15-minute break. You can change your status from here if you would like to. So that's pretty simple. Something that I typically forget to do, but you can do it. And then you can also set a status message. Maybe just say attending a conference, August 21, 2020. And then show the message when people message me. And when do you want it to expire? Because if you're like me, you go on vacation and you put in, I'm out of town. If you need to get a hold of somebody, contact so and so, and that I'm back for 4 or 5 days, and I realize that message is still being sent out to people. So you can have it expire in 1 hour, 4 hours, whatever you want. You can customize it down here so it can expire maybe, let's see, tomorrow morning or tonight at midnight. Just click on done, and then if someone were to try to IM me, that would pop up. Okay, so that's your availability. That's my messaging. If you click on settings, it gives you some additional options. So you can change the setup. If you prefer something a little bit darker, you can do a high contrast if you would like. You can change the layout. You can change it to a grid or a list. You can change the language from English to any other language that you would like. You can change your keyboard to another language if you would like to. I'm going to go ahead and so that's in general. Then you have privacy. So in other words, if you have a do not disturb on, let's say that nobody can disturb you except for maybe your manager or your team leader. So if you click on manage priority list and you put that person's name in here and add them, that means that he or she will be able to break through or get through to you, even though it says that you are busy. We go back to settings. So that's privacy. Notifications is really up to you. It depends on how often you would use Teams, what you want it to do. So, personal mentions. So if somebody @s you, do you want it to banner you and email you? How important is it to you? The banner will show up in one of the corners. It can also email you if you would like to. So these are just different options that you would need to go through and set a personal preference as to how you want everything to look. So I'm going to go back to general, and I'm going to change my theme back to that default, because I think that's a little bit hard to see when it's that dark. Okay, so that's a little bit about the preferences, and this is the chats. Let's go ahead and come down and look at different teams. So this is fun as well. Come here. Okay, so I belong to 2 teams, and as you can see, there's not a lot of activity in here, but I went ahead and joined these 2 teams. So they're 2 teams that Metropolitan Community College has put together, and they can be anything that you want to talk about. You've got the MCC training and development classes. The Dream Team, which is the continuing education department. Again, at the top, you'll see all of the files. So you got your posts, you have any files that somebody has shared with the group, which looks like quite a bit. You have a staff notebook. Not sure if there's anything in there or not. I haven't had a chance to look at all these different options that I have. You have documents from SharePoint, so Teams does connect with SharePoint. You have modified charts. Let's say that you want to create a group yourself. Yeah, so you can schedule a meeting, whatever the case may be. Okay, so down at the bottom, I have the option to join or create a group. So if I click on that, I can come up here and I can search for different teams, or I can create my own team. So if I click on create team, it says, okay, what type of a team would you like? So with all of the online learning that we have going on right now, you can create a classroom if you would like to. You can do professional learning, PLC. You can have a staff development. You can have something other. A lot of people are using Zoom right now to communicate with their family and friends. Team would be another option for you to allow people to get together. Like I know with myself and my siblings, we meet every Thursday night at 6 o'clock, and we use Zoom, the free one. So it lasts for 40 minutes, which is plenty of time. We've been doing it for about 6 months now. Certainly wish we would have thought about it before COVID-19, but it's a lot of fun. So this would be another option for you. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to select professional. No, I'll do other. Yes, Arnie, it is being recorded, so you will be able to look at it later. Good question, thank you. So when I click on create a team, I'm going to go ahead and just give my team a name. And what do I want to call my team? Okay, so I'm just going to call this the Hamilton Group. You can put in a description if you want to. And then you can set privacy. So is this private only to team members? Only team members, owners can add members, or is this going to be a public team? This is going to be a private team, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave it on that. Click on next. And then I can start adding people to my group. And off the top of my head, I don't know my siblings' email addresses, so I'm just going to throw some other people in here. Now, you'll also note that I can add people either within Metro or outside of Metro because it says guest here, meaning that this person is outside of the Metro environment. So just go ahead and add. So I added 2 different people in here, and you can see that Patricia Smith is a member. I can also make her an owner of this team if I want to, and the PSP Moss is a guest. So I'm just going to go ahead and close that, and it will create my group. So you can see over here on the left-hand side that I now have MCC, I have the Dream Team, and I have the Hamilton Group. So if I click on that, I can go in here and post. I can add files, very similar to what we were doing with the chat. So you can see a theme here. Everything is very consistent with what you can do from uploading files, sharing information, and so on. Assignments, we're going to leave that for another time. I'm going to go ahead and click on calendar. And when you click on calendar, this is very similar to a calendar that you've probably used in your email in the past. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go into a meeting just to show you that. Well, first of all, I guess I'll schedule another meeting. So I can click on new meeting up here if I want to, or I can just come down and click on my calendar and I can add a new meeting in. Teams does have a built-in spell check, and just in case you were curious. So I'm just going to put meeting example in there, and we'll click on save. Notice that it populates to our calendar. If you want to delete it, you can simply do a left click, and you can either edit it or you can delete it. It does not ask you twice if you want to delete it, so you need to be a little bit careful about that. Okay, so when I go into my meeting, I can go ahead and click on join. And I can do so. I can go ahead and click on join. Now it's going to ask me if I want to use audio and video. You can see that it automatically starts to give me the time. So at this point during the meeting, I can share. So anything that I have open on my desktop, or I've got two screens here, I can share anything from any one of my screens. I can share any of the files that I have open. You can also, there's more actions. So I can start recording the meeting. You can find the recording in or chat in your Microsoft stream. So got that. So we're now recording this. You can raise your hand. You can start a conversation. So perhaps you're not going to, maybe you're not going to give everybody microphone rights. You would prefer them to type in their comments. You can have them do that either or. I know that when I'm in meetings, sometimes it's easier to put something in the chat rather than turn on my microphone. So you've got some different options there. You can show the participants, and it tells you who is in the meeting and who's did not respond. So in other words, the meeting invite was sent out, and Patricia Smith did not respond, say yes, no, or maybe to the meeting. If there were additional people listed here, if they said no, it would give their name and what their reason was for not attending the meeting, or their name would be listed, and the little dot below would be green, meaning that they are active. Now, as you recall, mine has a red because up in the profile, I said that I was in a call. I'll go ahead and make myself available, and now it turns green. So you can raise your hand if you want to, if you have a question. And again, you have all of these same options. So I'm just going to go ahead and stop the recording. When the meeting is over, you can go ahead and just say end the meeting and click on end, and it hangs up the call, and it takes us back out to our chat. So that's the calendar and what you can do with that. And this is really nice. It's a really great option for you to utilize. I know my stepson, they use it at his place of employment all the time, and he really enjoys it. Thinks it's a great application. So I'm hoping that Joanne, it's 40 minutes. It's 40 minutes for a team. I just saw your question there in Zoom. If you don't want to pay, you can pay, but it's not very much, and it can go longer. But it's don't take this the wrong way. It's kind of nice that just after 40 minutes it cuts off, because who's going to be the one to say, okay, I have to go now, when you're just talking to family members. So yeah, it's pretty nice. So down to calls. If you want to create a call, you can call somebody simply by clicking on them. So you can see that some of this is repetitious, because you can do the calls from the chat as well. But if, like I said earlier, if your organization has that add-on for calling, you would have a keypad right here rather than the make a call. So if you want to call, I can click on the audio call, or I can do a video call. So we'll just go ahead, and here is what the audio call looks like. And it's going into
Patricia.
her voicemail. We'll go ahead and hang up, and I'll go back to calls here for a second. And if you want to do a video call, then it's, if I wasn't using my camera for something else, it would show my picture right here. So you would be able to do a video call. So it's kind of like FaceTime, in a way. Yeah, Joanne. Yes, to my knowledge, there is no limit to the length of time that you can be in the meeting. But that's a really good question, and I will need to look that up. But to my knowledge, you can go as long as you need to in MS Teams. Okay, let me see. So we've gone over the activity, the chat. Remember that you can chat with an individual person. You can create groups if you want to. You can add people to groups. You can delete people to groups. Again, it's all private. So anything that I said to Patricia Smith, no one else can see this. You can see that the files that I uploaded are also in the chat. They're also in my files. The activity, there won't be anything. We added the MCC Instructor Portal. You can add as many things as you want to. Definitely, there's a lot of different apps in here. I wish I could tell you that I knew what even 50% of them did, but I don't. This is technology is overwhelming. Oh, I know what I wanted to show you. Let me go back and show you one other thing here. So let me go back to files, and I have all of these files that I uploaded. So if I go into maybe just an Excel agenda. So here's an agenda that I put together. And you can see that when I click on that, it opens it up in a Microsoft, a version of Microsoft. So I can do as many edits as I want to. I have these same ribbons. I have home, I have insert, layout, references, review. If I were to go to insert and insert a picture, you have the options. We'll just go to Bing real quick and put a picture in there. Let's just go to airplanes. That looks like a great airplane to put in. So just like if you were using Microsoft Word, you can see that when I have my picture selected, my airplane selected, the picture ribbon appears so that I can make adjustments to it. Don't necessarily need that in there. But you also can share this with other people. So if I want to, I can share it with various people. Whoever is in this group would be able to come in. They can make comments over to the side. They can add information to the document. So it's very much so if you've used the Google Drive in the past, or the OneDrive, where you can invite different people in to make edits, to comment, and so on. Very much so like that. But you can pull this up. I can work on it here. I can open it in a browser. And again, I'm still working in the cloud. So anything that I do, it will be saving it automatically. I don't need to worry about that. Again, here's my share button. I can share that out with different people. If you do come up, wait just for a second for it to pop back up. If you do come up to the three dots and you download it, then you've got a different situation. It's not a live document. So you would be downloading that to your PC. Any changes that you made would be made only to the document on your PC. You can see that right now it's assigned me the color red. So if I type something in here, it's assigned me the color red. If somebody else was in the document, it would assign them a specific color as well. Okay, so let me make sure I haven't forgotten anything here. So that's the chat, sharing of files. You can create your own teams if you want to. Different assignments if you want. If you're going to start a class, teachers start here. Like I said, that's we're not going to go into that. That takes a little bit longer. So you have your calendar that we talked about, your calls, all of your different files. So these are, when I click on files, these are all of the files that are on my OneDrive. So Team and OneDrive are talking to one another. So just like when I went in and into the chat and to the files to share, it asked me, do I want to grab it from my OneDrive or do I want to upload it from my computer? Team and your OneDrive talk to one another, so everything is there for you. All right. Any questions, folks? Any additional questions? Here is my email address. Well, I think maybe I gave it to you already. No, I'll give it to you again. For instance, Joanne, are you asking me what the OneDrive is? Okay, so the OneDrive is Microsoft's solution for cloud computing. Just like you have the Google Drive and different things like that. If you're not, are you familiar with the term cloud computing? I know sometimes when okay, perfect. I hate to ask that question because I don't want to insult anybody, but a lot of times I'll get this, if I could see you or everybody in here, sometimes people don't know what cloud computing is. But yes, OneDrive is Microsoft's solution for that. Any other questions, folks? Well, thank you so much for joining me. I hope that this was valuable for you. It's nice to see so many people joining me this morning. Have a fabulous afternoon and weekend, and I hope to see your name in one of my webinars again.
Thanks, Julie.
Thanks. Thank you. Thanks, Ruth.